My people, it don't finally happen. Breaking news, VDM is out from EFCC custody. Just take a look.
Criminal.
How do you put money laundry for best when don't get money?
You don't launder your own money now. Who broke you now, criminal?
I don't to do charity. They wonder how. They don't know how they use debt to do charity. Anyways, we're outside with my lawyer, of course. And you know what we do? We can never get inside when we have our lawyer by our side. So right now, by strategy, you are going to survive me with at least $3,000 first for the starts.
Wow, my people, this is the best news so far today. Like, thanks to God as well as Nigerians who stood up for Verydakman and raised their voices like it was too loud that even the deaf can hear. Our collective voice is powerful. It's because of you, Verydakman regained his freedom today. Like, kudos to Nigeria youth. Honestly, you people have done so well. My people, we cannot wait to hear from Verydakman. Yes. So let me allow you guys to watch this video from Arise Television for you to see the heated argument between Rufai and Dr. Abati concerning VDM matter. This is really interesting, my people. Just take a look.
Well, in the wake of public outcry following the arrest of activist Martin Osher, also known as Verydakman, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission finally released a statement on Tuesday defending its right to hold him. The EFCC stated in a post on X that VDM was arrested due to petitions involving alleged financial crimes and that he had refused to respond to multiple invitations. Well, the tweet reads in part: The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, in the exercise of its mandate of tackling economic and financial crimes, invited Martin Vincent Osher, owing to a series of petitions bordering on sundry issues of alleged financial crimes raised against him. He refused to show up, in spite of several invitations sent to him through his known addresses and medium of communication. The petitions pertain to grave allegations of financial malfeasance, which cannot be ignored by the Commission. The EFCC has a lawful right to hold Osher in custody like any other suspect being investigated by the Commission. The appropriate remand order was obtained. In this regard, he has been offered an administrative bail and will be released after fulfilling all the bail conditions. Well, you know, this, of course, tweet has garnered a lot of reactions, Vimbai, really, because a lot of people, you know, were saying, really, was VDM really invited by the EFCC and declined? I mean, because we've seen several videos of VDM, you know, saying that EFCC cannot even invite him in the first place because he has no, you know, charges for any reason whatsoever. But let me take this tweet from Chooks. He wrote, a video has emerged showing that EFCC extended an invitation to Verydakman. However, reports suggest that he allegedly refused to acknowledge or respond to the invitation. Well, let's take a look at that video posted by Chooks.
It is noteworthy that the Commission extends an invitation to the ex-convict and the Verydakman to come and assist the Commission in unraveling the identities of the officers of the Commission to whom the alleged bribe of the sum of 15 million naira was paid. Regrettably, up to this moment, none of them have honored the invitation. While appreciating the seriousness attached to this incident and the noble steps taken by this Honorable House to unravel the truth contained in this allegation in the viral video for the sanctity of the institution and the nation Nigeria, the Commission wishes to assure this Honorable House and the general public that on our part, we are committed to getting to the root of this matter and appropriate actions will be taken accordingly.
All right. I mean, this was during the saga of Bob Risky. I believe VDM had made some comments at that time, and then you have it here where the EFCC actually did, you know, make a press conference to invite him to their, you know, office. Meanwhile, supporters of VDM continued their protests yesterday, demanding his release.
Outside for VDM 100. Oh yeah, now let's calm down.
Why are they carrying animals for us? no go green, oh, we no go green. Free Verydakman.
Free Verydakman.
We no go green, oh, we no go green.
We no go green, Free Verydakman. Free VDM.
Oh, that last video there, Vimbai, was in London, and you saw school children. We've seen several videos of people demanding VDM's release. The EFCC also debunked claims that it arrested VDM because of the activists' constant attacks on its operation. I'll read part of their tweet here. They wrote in that statement, "It is needful to admit that the Commission is aware of several unguarded attacks of the suspect against its operation. While such conduct is condemnable, his arrest was not informed by such attacks. The relevant law enforcement agency will be allowed to look into them." Well, here's VDM in several videos that have now gone viral, accusing the EFCC of corruption.
The corruption of EFCC has literally no limits. So basically now anybody where Tinubu they vest with or APC they vest with, now EFCC they go pursue. EFCC is not competent enough to say they want the whole person for fraud. They no get that credibility at all. Say there's no agency in Nigeria where corrupt with EFCC. I know say EFCC go they wonder why they find out, but like I said, I got eyes everywhere and I get informants for everywhere. EFCC are the most corrupt people. Like I said, 90% of them are corrupt. When they are ready to let me prove it, I'll prove it to them. Verydakman defame EFCC. Let's go to court. Let us go. I will prove it that 90% of you are corrupt. I know you people will be wondering how I found out, but here's the thing. The truth is that I have informants in your office.
All right, there, VDM says, "I have informant in your office." I mean, would you blame Nigerians for saying this is the reason why he was picked up? Because on several occasions, he has come out to say that the EFCC is corrupt. Before I come to you, Vimbai, I'll take this final tweet from Excel. He wrote in part, "What's even more suspicious is the EFCC's admission that they are aware of his unguarded attacks. That's the real issue here. VDM speaks truth to power. He calls out corruption, exposes hypocrisy, and disrupts the comfort of those who hide behind institutions to loot with impunity. Now, instead of addressing the rot he has exposed, the system is trying to silence him through a conveniently timed arrest. The Commission talks about remand orders and administrative bail as though they are doing VDM a favor. Let's not get it twisted. Due process is not a privilege. It is a right. If he's been granted bail, why is he still in custody? Or is it yet another example of selective justice and unlawful detention masquerading as procedure?"
There's so many issues muddled up together where this particular case is concerned. But I think the focus is on due process from the EFCC, because if due process is followed, a lot of the other speculation that then begins to happen is subdued. So if you say rightfully EFCC has the right to say that we have information or we have evidence pertaining to X, Y, or Z, they can do that to anybody, no problem. But then if the procedure is followed, then we can sit and observe and wait for the process to play itself out. There's still questions about how he was arrested, because his brother says they were bundled up. It was like a kidnapping. That is still a question mark. Why is the EFCC? Yes, fine. Even if let's assume that he refused to honor the invitation, does that warrant him being bundled up, and being taken to a place that they said for a while they didn't know his whereabouts? So definitely we cannot overestimate the importance. We cannot overestimate the importance of due process. Now, there are so many issues here. The other issue that I wanted to look at was the issue, the protests, right? I think that is formidable to see young people rising up for what they believe in. And I hope that if there's such an organized group of people with this much passion, that it can be bigger than VDM. I hope that it can be about the core foundation of the issue. As much as this is what has triggered this, it's important for us to also remember that yes, okay, let's protest free VDM and so forth. It can be anybody tomorrow. So let's remember to have a wider conversation around we're protesting the fact that there needs to be due process in this system.
Right.
Nobody should be witch hunted or appear to be witch hunted because they want to call out the powers that be. The EFCC maintain that they have a case. Well, let's hear what that case is.
Right.
And we hope that from now on, things can be done by the book.
Right. Dr. Abati, before I come to you, meanwhile, the Nigerian Guild of Editors and the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project had called on the Tinubu government to stop using Cybercrimes Act to target journalists, activists, and critics. The organization expressed concern over how the Cybercrime Act, particularly Section 24 of cyberstalking, has been used to harass and persecute social media users since its amendment in 2024. They noted an increasing trend of using criminal defamation laws to stifle dissent and bring frivolous lawsuits against critics, posing threats to journalists' safety. NGE and SERAP argue that the Cybercrime Act is inconsistent with Nigeria's constitution and international human rights standards. They called on the government to review and amend the Cybercrime Act to align with constitutional standards, instruct law enforcement to respect citizens' rights, uphold press freedom, ensure access to information, and obey court judgments. Over to you.
Okay, very quickly. I think certain fundamental points to be made. This is the Nigerian Guild of Editors and the Socio-Economic Rights and Economic Rights Agency project complaining about the Cybercrime Act. What they are complaining about is they say it's been abused. Now, if you are complaining about a particular piece of legislation, the place to go is to ask for the abrogation of that particular piece of law. If any piece of legislation is a living subject, and the true test of any law is in its implementation. Mm-hmm. It is when it is implemented that you can say, oh, this particular law is not in order. So the Nigerian Guild of Editors and SERAP came together, according to the report, and said, look, this law is being abused and being used, cyber stalking, specifically Section 24 of the Cybercrime Act, being used to harass people, to intimidate activists and journalists, and it's also against Section 39 of the Constitution. Section 39 of the Constitution talks about freedom of expression and the right to own a medium of communication. And they also talked about Article 19 of the International Convention on Civil Rights. Article 19 is also basically about freedom of expression. However, it is not President Tinubu that will amend the law. The place to go is the National Assembly. If a law, a piece of legislation is not doing well, the people have the right to say, oh, change this law. We don't want it. If it's not a living law, it will be a dead law. Mm-hmm. You can always amend laws. However, my position is this. Article 39, Section 39 of the 1999 Constitution, with due respect, that the President, the Nigerian Guild of Editors and SERAP referred to. Under that old Chapter 4, Chapter 2 is non-justiciable, although Femi Falana SAN has said there's a decided case in which Chapter 2 can also be invoked. Now, no law under the Nigerian Constitution gives you absolute rights. Mm-hmm. You don't have absolute rights. Every law under the Constitution within the jurisdiction has its limits. Right. You cannot say because Section 39 says you can talk. That section does not include the phrase that you can talk anyhow. Yeah. Or that you can abuse the social media to embarrass, impugn the integrity of other people. And that's why we have laws of defamation. Mm-hmm. I've argued before that maybe the way the police are going about it, when I think it was Benjamin Hundeyin, speaking up for the police, was saying, no, Cybercrime Act, you know. So, and I said, no, they should not abuse it. So it may be in the implementation. But the basic principle is that no citizen in this country has absolute rights. And the organizations in this country, the law enforcement agencies, they have the right to call anybody to task, to investigate anybody. So, and it will not be right to say, oh, this agency is corrupt. That's why they are investigating. No, that would be an illiterate thing to say.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Rufai, so we can wrap this up. I mean, you can see images there that with, you know, Dele Farotimi, Showore. It's good that Serap at this moment is calling out these sort of, I don't know how to describe it, jungle justice, as it were, in the manner in which they, you know, arrest these people because of Cybercrime Act. I mean, look at that.
I 100% support Serap.
Yes, Serap and NG.
And I agree that the buck stops with the president. He's the leader of the land. You see, we forget. We can all see that the president does not have anything to do with the court. We forget that the president is supposed to be the moral beacon of any nation. And what happens in any nation falls under the president. I mean, look at all these heinous activities and crimes that are being perpetrated. The high-handedness. What EFCC has done to VDM, is it right? Let's call it speed is speed. They arrested the man. You didn't issue a statement all this while. You said, oh, fraud, malfeasance and everything. You have not even shown us a charge. You are talking administrative bail. He's not been bailed. We are hearing counter and counter narrative. The truth has to be said. If a man had called that EFCC in the past, that they are corrupt and all of that, didn't the EFCC chairman himself say they have bad eggs amongst them? Why are we talking like we don't live in Nigeria? All you just need to do is to call him to corroborate. So the question we are asking is, what is going on? Is it because the man does not have the paraphernalia of security and states? Didn't the same EFCC try to go and arrest Yaya Bello? Didn't they push them away because military, police meet police? And he was being guarded. Didn't the EFCC chairman, a man that is doing great, by the way, and I support him, when he started to support the EFCC, I support the EFCC like I supported them a lot in the Yaya Bello situation.
All right.
Didn't he say, oh, I will resign if Yaya Bello is not prosecuted? Today, Yaya Bello's case is already in court. So you see, there's a level of high-handedness. If you don't have power in this country, you suffer and die. If you have power, you go scot-free.
Right.
President Tinubu, all of this is happening under your watch. I will ask you a question.
All right.
Láyé onígbọ́n nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀, láyé àrẹ̀sà ní nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀. So láyé Tinubu ní gbogbo eléyìí ṣẹlẹ̀.
All right.
It's in the era of President Tinubu, all of this happening. We have to speak truth to power.
All right.
Let's call a spade now. What country are we living in?
All right.
Okay. The leader is the moral head of every country. The leader is the moral head.
There are legal processes.
All right.
You know, law is not emotion.
Fantastic.
We know, but the leader is the moral head.
No.
All right.
He's the moral head.
Let's finish this.
What EFCC has done is wrong.
Tinubu cannot amend any law.
No.
The leader is the moral head. That's what we are saying. That's not the question.
Of the legislature.
It's the high-handedness we are talking about.
I'm talking law. I'm not talking emotions.
At the end of the day, Serap and NGE has called for a review of the Cybercrime Act, and that is their point. Really, that's all they're asking for at this point. And I think that it is important for that sort of conversation to begin to take center stage. We're asking for the rule of law to be obeyed.
Welcome to Chamber News TV.